Welcome back to the cinema arena. One of the finest directors still working today, the man who churns out cynical masterpieces like clockwork. It's David Fincher. Now watch as his films fight it out in a battle royale to find out which of these are the best among them in this week's Ranked. And now, your hosts, Adrian and Azrael Tay.
Hey guys, welcome back to the cinema arena. With MANK coming out on Netflix about a month ago, we think that it was about time to discuss and reevaluate Fincher and the rest of his filmography.
Right.
And so, what's a better way of reevaluating someone's whole filmography but doing a ranked? Before we begin, let me clarify a few things. Once again, we're not doing the whole filmography, we're just doing the top 8 Fincher films. We are using an algorithm of IMDb user ranking, Letterboxd user rating, and Rotten Tomatoes critic score. So with those three, we've calculated the top 8 films from there, and we'll be arguing amongst ourselves about those 8 films to see which is the best Fincher film of all time. Well, as according to us lah.
So honorable mentions.
Right, so 3 films didn't make it, right? Those 3 being Aliens 3, Panic Room, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, with The Curious Case of Benjamin Button being the closest to making it. And yeah, let's start off with the bottom, right? Let's start off with Aliens 3.
Alien 3. Oh, I didn't like Alien 3.
Yeah, I really thought that there was nothing to like here. It felt the least Fincher out of all the films. And I think with good reason, right? Because Fincher has famously disowned the film. And it really felt like it was a studio interfering with a director lah. Yeah. And I've also heard that because it was his first time doing a film, he decided to give way to the studios, which if you watch his other films, like all of them feel like there's this chip on his shoulder after this experience with Aliens 3, and he's always been trying to be that auteur filmmaker.
At least it's a learning experience.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
But it often feels like a cheap imitation of Alien and Aliens also lah. Yeah. With the whole the team aspect of it.
But Panic Room, I think it's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think from here the films are solid.
Right. Yeah. Everything else is solid here, right? I think Panic Room is just, it suffers from being smaller in scale, right? When you compare it between Fight Club, Zodiac, Seven, it just doesn't reach those levels. But it's not trying to, right? It's trying to be this sort of small scale thriller. And I think it worked effectively, but when you compare it to the rest of his filmography, it feels like it's missing that sort of punch. I'm actually really disappointed that The Curious Case of Benjamin Button did not make it to the top 8. Because I do really like it, you know. It is the most sentimental of Fincher's film. Okay, maybe until MANK, right? Because we'll get into that later. But The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is weirdly sentimental. It's kind of heartfelt, you know. It has that Fincher cynicism and twist to it, right? Being about this baby that's born looking like an old man.
Right.
You know, there is that sort of Fincher twist to it. But there's still so much of the heart to it, and great performances from Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett, right? I think some of the complaints of the CGI is also kind of, it's a low-hanging fruit. I don't actually think it looks that bad, you know? I think it actually looks pretty good.
It's the lower tier Fincher, yeah, for me. But I can still appreciate what he's going for with the more heartfelt story lah.
Yeah. Let's move on. And let's start with the first round.
Round 1.
Okay, so 7 and The Game. The Game is also a lower tier Fincher for me. I like Michael Douglas a lot. But I feel the ending is the main problem with it lah. To me, like the tone was one way throughout most of the film. And I'm not trying to spoil The Game for any of you who haven't seen it, because a lot of people haven't.
Right.
But I felt like it betrayed most of the film and what was leading up to it. It felt a bit anticlimactic for me. But until
Really?
that point, yeah, it's good Fincher. Yeah.
For me, The Game is maybe the most high concept of all of Fincher's thrillers, right? that's kind of that kind of adds to the first viewing of the game, right? Where you don't know what you're watching, you don't know what to expect, and it really just keeps coming at you with surprises. I think the mileage of the film kind of varies from how much those surprises really surprise you, right? And I don't know, for me, I do like the game, and I think perhaps it's probably going to be the most underrated of his films, even by us, right? But up against a wall like Seven, right? Seven is iconoclast, right? Like it's just it's iconic. It's probably like the top 3 thrillers of the 1990s and 2000s, right? Yeah, it's incredible. Just the concept of a killer who's trying to mimic the
Seven Deadly Sins.
It's just an amazing concept. The way that the town is created to almost represent like a hell on earth, right? I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, it has everything. Like Kevin Spacey as the surprise twist villain, like uncredited.
There's no way you can do something like that
today
now, right? When everything is so advertised, but it was so genius to not put that in the credits at all, and then just out of nowhere, Kevin Spacey.
And of course the iconic quotes from the film as well.
It's clear from the both of us that it's gonna be 7.
Round 2.
Alright, I think this is a tougher one from the previous one. Gone Girl is like it's like how a thriller advances, right? So I think it's the best it's the best thriller that uses technology, that talks about the media, right? And how the media is the one that creates and can create a persona, right? And how if the media turns on you, like that can be a really scary thing, right? And that you can use the media to your advantage. You can be a weapon, right? And I think Amy Dunn as a sort of villain is really iconic, right? She's cold-blooded. She's insane. I love it, and I also love how the film uses Ben Affleck, right? Because Ben Affleck,
he has literally lived this life before, outside of the film.
So him playing this character is a commentary on himself.
Right. Yeah, but Zodiac. Yeah, Zodiac is way higher than Gone Girl for me. Definitely in the upper tier. I love the trio of characters that we get and how all 3 of them show different kind of responses to this serial killer. Like Robert Downey Jr. is just the guy who slowly loses his life to this killer, and Jake Gyllenhaal is the determined, who sometimes he's an asshole about it, but more than anything he's determined to catch this guy. And Mark Ruffalo is a straight man, and it's really interesting to see. It's like a step up from Seven, where there's 2 of them playing kind of those same archetypes, but how Fincher has evolved and developed his style of controlling these characters as well.
And I think in a way, it's not even that Robert Downey Jr.'s character and Jake Gyllenhaal's character is different. It's more so that we see Robert Downey Jr. at the end of the road
where he's just starting off.
Right, where Gyllenhaal would go to eventually, and seeing that sort of, it's scarier, right? Yeah. And I love how it ends so vaguely, right? You don't really know whether you caught it, right? Although the film does,
kind of,
lean away, but yeah, I think we're both going Zodiac here.
Yep.
So yeah, Zodiac wins this one, and we're going to go on to the next round.
Round 3.
So the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This is the one that I've watched most recently,
right?
Of all of Fincher's filmography, and I do think, it's seriously underrated. I think Daniel Craig shines as a. I thought he was kind of miscast before I saw the film,
right?
Because he's James Bond, but he's able to portray, the bumbling sort of detective compared to James Bond, and Rooney Mara is unrecognizable.
Yeah.
But she's great. She's the Best Actress nominee for Dragon Tattoo, and she really shows it to the point where, when she dresses up as normal Rooney Mara, I was kind of taken aback for a bit, because it just looks like her, and it's so different from the character that she's been portraying for the rest of the film.
Another thing that I really like about it is that it's notably European, right? The setting, even the way the characters act, and even how nihilistic it is, it feels very European. And yeah, I think that's just something different that some of the other Fincher films don't offer. And yeah, I think you're right in saying that The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is underrated. Yeah. But Fight Club, right? Fight Club is quintessential Fincher, right? The first thing you think about Fincher, you think about Fight Club. Oh, it's either that or Seven, but you know, it's one of the two, right? And there's so many iconic moments in Fight Club, right? It's maybe top 5 most iconic films in the 90s, right? You know, and there's just so much of the nihilism, you know, and we're talking about nihilism in The Dragon Tattoo, but even in that film, like, that brand of nihilism doesn't exactly feel Fincher, but when you think of the Fight Club sort of nihilism,
that's him,
right? That's him. And you know, that's a rather shallow way of looking at it, right? If you look at it from that point of view, it's a really fun film, right? It's fun, it's anarchistic, you know, it's fun. But you can look at it deeper, right? And it's a pretty strong and deep text about late stage capitalism, about people who are disgruntled with a normal way of life, you know, and how they want to break free from commercialism and capitalism, but can't, but are unable to, right? Because in a way, we all need it.
Yeah, as much as I love Dragon Tattoo, it's hard to deny how influential Fight Club has become. Yeah.
Alright, so Fight Club goes on to the next round.
Round 4.
Alright, so we finally get to talk about Mank.
The newest release
Right,
on
the
this
newest
list.
release. I think overall, compared to the rest of his filmography, it's not in the upper echelon, right? It, like, for me, it's not on the level of Seven, Fight Club, Zodiac, Social Network, right? That's me, you know, sort of hinting at who I'm gonna vote for. But I think Mank it's really heartfelt, you know. It's a letter from David Fincher to his father, Jack Fincher, sort of honoring, you know, his legacy, right? And also honoring the work of creatives, right? Honoring the work of writers. And he does it in a style that evokes the 30s, about a film that talks about the 30s, which I really like. Yeah, I'm a fan for, you know, the golden age of Hollywood, and he really evokes a sort of talky style, right? Where it's a lot of verbal ping pong, and I think those are the moments in the film that really work, when it's that snappy dialogue, right? Which is also it's also available in The Social Network, right? That snappy dialogue, right? The first 5 minutes of Social Network,
right?
Where immediately it's a sort of verbal ping pong between the characters, right? Where they're saying something and it means 3 other things, you know what I mean? And but the thing is, The Social Network draws you in immediately, right? Within the first 5 minutes, you're interested.
Gary Oldman is great as
Amazing,
Mank,
right?
yeah, but he is not Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think there has ever been a more fitting actor-character pairing in Fincher's filmography than Mark Zuckerberg and Jesse Eisenberg.
Well, let's not even talk about on camera.
Yeah.
Off camera,
Yeah.
with Aaron Sorkin writing the script. It's really like two masters of their work coming together, and it's really a crazy, you know, combination that really works.
And it's a testament to the writing that so many lines of dialogue feel like punches and like people are trading blows and they're wrestling.
Right.
When in actuality all they're doing is just talking.
Yeah, but I guess in the end it is going to The Social Network, but I think Mank is really good.
Alright. So The Social Network makes it to our next round.
Semi-final. Round 1.
I'm gonna have to side with Seven here. That's my second favorite Fincher film. And I think why I love it so much is because even though he's made so many since then, Seven being, if you don't count Alien 3, his debut feature,
Right.
it is a culmination and a microcosm of his style. You will never find a better package than Seven, I think. Social Network is out there and it's adapted, but this is classic Fincher, right? He's in his territory, and just like Dragon Tattoo, he's not shying away from any of the gory aspects of it. You know, we see the murders, and we feel the build-up that he creates up to the seventh murder, and then we realize, the seventh murder is not where it's coming from.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I'm leading Zodiac here. As I said, Zodiac is just such a perfect procedural, and its focus on obsession sort of also leads you down an obsession with the film, right? And it just sucks you in immediately, right? The moment it starts, talking about the Zodiac killer, then showing you the clues, and you sort of follow on that journey with Jake Gyllenhaal, and you sort of go down a rabbit hole with him, and then you look at the time and 2 hours has passed. Oh my god, right? And I think that's what I love about it.
So what we have here is a well-oiled machine versus like the Swiss watch, which is what Zodiac is. And I think our pick goes to Zodiac for this round. So Zodiac moves on to the finals.
Semi-final, round 2.
Personally, I'm going to show my hand because The Social Network is my favorite Fincher film.
Okay.
I think it so tastefully represents the 2010s in cinema, not just the style of what a 2010s film takes after, but also in its themes, how we are kind of controlled by social media, and how Zuckerberg's greed in the film leads him to those court cases,
Right.
And it's such a unique blend of A Few Good Men, which I haven't seen, but it's Sorkin's famous
Right.
Courtroom drama, with the high school stuff. A bunch of prestigious Harvard students, in a courtroom drama. It's such a nice blending of the two that Sorkin does so well.
I'm going to show my hand here as well. I think The Social Network and Zodiac are the best films that Fincher has made. I think they are the two best films in the 2000s. And yeah, I'm also going to vote for The Social Network.
Right, but that's not taking anything away from Fight Club.
Yeah, because Fight Club is iconic, right? It's absolutely iconic. But I think there's a magic to Aaron Sorkin and Fincher working together.
All right. So we have a unanimous decision here, and The Social Network moves on to our finals.
Final round.
It's fitting because we feel that those are the two that best show David Fincher at his most quintessential.
It's sort of middle period Fincher, right? We sort of passed up on the early Fincher. Not to say that those films aren't incredible, but I think these are the films that really speak to us. And I think The Social Network, especially, like as you said, right, it's the film that really represents this decade, right? The 2010s. But Zodiac is just it's a masterpiece. It doesn't represent the 2000s, but it's just undeniably great in every way.
I think a commonality between the two is like the obsession of Mark Zuckerberg and of Jake Gyllenhaal's character as well. But yes, Zodiac is the more broad-looking picture. It's not about social media. It's not about the shutting off of Eduardo and the twins. But it's a more universal kind of obsession, and it's something that not even adults will have trouble identifying with. Whereas The Social Network is about social media. Sometimes my own mom watched The Social Network and she nowhere loves it as much as I do, but I feel like anyone who watches Zodiac can take away that obsession from it.
I'm gonna vote for Zodiac, and the reason I'm going to vote for Zodiac is because it's something we haven't mentioned yet, surprisingly, is that Zodiac actually still has a bit of that bite, a bit of that Fincher style to it, the way that he creates a sort of noir vibe around the city, and how cold and cold-blooded the way he set up the murders and shows the murders. Those scenes are still terrifying, and even the way he sets up the ending of Jake Gyllenhaal going down to the basement of the supposed killer, and him escaping out with his life. Like it's incredible stuff, Yeah,
It's a tough call.
it's a really tough call.
But I think we have a winner, and I think our pick is Zodiac.
Winner.
Door. to door that is less than 50 yards. Is that true? I've walked it. Jesus Christ.
Alright, so Zodiac is our winner. It was a really
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's up there with the Pixar one we did a few weeks ago.
one of the craziest semi-finals ever.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but we're interested to hear your thoughts about MANK. We're interested to hear your thoughts about the bracket, how it went, you know, what were your feelings about some of the upsets, the winner.
Yeah, if there's an Alien 3 fan out there, let us know also.
Actually, don't. I honestly...
Yeah, but thank you for tuning in. And join us next time on the Cinema Arena.